Oh, how do you travel when you're so young? I just don't understand. How do you save? I haven't looked at my credit in 6 months.
I've been working for the last 18 years. I'm planning on going on a vacation, but I am a month away from getting a repo.
$93,000 in debt, and I'm going on 2 vacations this year. Sue me.
We have officially entered the most delusional era of internet culture. People are going on vacations while being completely broke or in crippling debt. Let's talk about it.
I just went on a vacation, which is so controversial when you're paying off debt. But you know what? There is a thing called balance. And I truthfully believe that you should be able to live your life still and pay off your debt. Because for me, okay, I went to Vegas and I went to go see Millennium. Best concert of my life. Oh my God. Insane. If you're able to go to the Sphere and go see a DJ at the Sphere, insane, you guys. Literally insane. Anyway, besides the point. But I truthfully believe that you should be able to go and enjoy your life. Why? Why be upset? Why be sad? Why be depressed and paying off debt? No. You should be able to live your life and have fun, but it is about a balance, and you definitely have to save money for it, and you have to be responsible about it. Don't be putting vacations on credit cards. I mean, I did for the points, but paid it off. Truthfully, I'm going to still enjoy my life, but you got to be responsible about it, you know?
So this here is what I call the I deserve it complex. And at some point, people have collectively decided that because the economy is like weird and other people are living it up on social media, that they're entitled to it as well. Like, why should I be the one to miss out on the fun? Newsflash, you're broke. So here we are currently broke, in tremendous amounts of debt, and maxing out our credit cards just to live like a millionaire for a week. But the small problem to that plan is when you finally get home from your vacation and reality sets in, it's no longer endless buffets and martinis. It's crippling debt and credit card bills. And this delusion of choosing a week of clout over your entire financial future is absolutely everything that's wrong in 2026.
Oh, how do you travel when you're so young? I just don't understand. How do you save? I haven't looked at my credit in 6 months. Getting the emails. I'm getting the notifications that my credit is changing, but have I looked at it? No. Last time when I quit my job and traveled for 8 weeks, it took me 6 months to pay off that trip, and guess what? It was worth it.
You know, I occasionally check social media, and I have seen people in my high school traveling on like these vacations all the time to different areas of the world. And it's always been in the back of my head. I've been trying to add it up. Like, how in the world are they able to afford these trips? How is it possible? What job can you have that allows you to take, you know, a month off of work every 4 to 6 months? And somebody has finally admitted the truth. They're essentially quitting their jobs, going into tremendous amounts of credit card debt, and then figuring it all out later. Anywho, I wanted to read a comment that somebody had left on my Disney Insanity episode. People going into debt for Disney, of all things. Definitely recommend checking it out. And if you guys want to get featured in the next episode, definitely make sure to share your thoughts on this down in the comments section below. It all boils down to the attitude of I deserve this. And I truly think that since the rise of social media and with everybody addicted to their phones, this whole I deserve this entitlement complex has been out of control. Blowing all your money for a week's worth of fun while in crippling debt is definitely not the right way to go around this. Now, I will say there are only a few exceptions to that rule, and if you're interested in which debts are okay to have while also on vacation, definitely stick around because I'm going to be sharing it in just a little bit.
I've been working for the last 18 years. I'm planning on going on a vacation, but I am a month away from getting a repo. The only vacation you should be planning is vacation your ass to work.
Facts.
Right? Because there's no way that you're planning on a vacation and you are behind in your bills. How does that make financial sense? Why are we wasting more money when we don't have money?
Exactly.
Like, this is the stuff that I don't get what people do. And people get so offended. Like, I don't get it.
It is true. It blows my mind. It shocks me every time that people get so offended, like you're pocket watching me for what they spend their money on and what they talk about it. But it's like they're having a conversation with me and they're complaining about how life is so expensive and they can't afford this and they can't afford that. And they just came back from like a trip to Europe for 3 weeks that, you know, they Klarna'd their way into.
It's probably going to piss some people off, but one thing I will not skip while on our debt-free journey is the vacations. Traveling is like my love language. It refills my bucket. And I also love to use points and work the systems. We have over $100,000 in debt.
What system are you working that isn't working you? Pff, trying to play the credit card system while in $100,000 of debt, probably credit card debt. The delusion.
Shared our debt-free journey a lot last year. I kind of had to take a break for the last couple months. We are going to San Diego for a week. I want to know, how much do you think it's going to cost grand total? Flights from Indy to San Diego, accommodations, a rental car.
It doesn't even matter.
And we're going to Universal for a day. And I bought the express pass because go big or go home. Drop it in the comments below. How much do you think that is going to cost my family of 4? And I'll tally it all up and let you know when I get back. And yes, I have budgeted for this. 2 things can be true. We've been paying off our debt and we've also been allocating funds to this vacation. Anyway, how much do you think it's going to be?
And she put it all on a credit card as well. I don't even care what the price is because you shouldn't be going on vacation to begin with. Newsflash, you can go on vacations that cost like little to no money with your family, especially if you have young kids. The only time there's an exception to the rule of going on a larger vacation while in debt is if you have like a mortgage or if you have student loans, hear me out, and the interest rate is incredibly low. I would almost bet that their kids would much rather prefer a childhood where their parents aren't arguing and fighting over money and whether or not they could pay the bills or put food on the table or keep the lights on or get the car repossessed than a week at Disneyland because your parents are financially reckless. One thing I talk about a lot on this channel is that building wealth isn't just about earning money, it's also about avoiding unnecessary expenses in the first place. And sometimes the things costing you money aren't that obvious. That's one of the reasons I like today's sponsor, Surfshark. Most people think of a VPN as just a privacy tool, and it absolutely helps with that. It encrypts your internet connection and helps keep your online activity private, especially if you're using public Wi-Fi at places like an airport, hotels, coffee shops, pretty much anywhere you're connecting to a network you don't control. But one thing I didn't realize until a few years ago is that your location can actually affect the prices you're shown online. So whether you're looking at flights, hotels, rental cars, or even certain online services, prices can sometimes vary depending on where you're browsing from. With Surfshark, you can virtually change your location and compare pricing from different regions before making a purchase. And even if you're not traveling, I still think it's one of those things that's just good to have running in the background, kind of like locking your front door. You kind of hope you never need it, but you're glad it's there. Another thing I like is that one Surfshark account works on unlimited devices, so you can use it on your phone, laptop, tablet, and pretty much everything else without having to keep track of device limits. So if you'd like to try it out for yourself, click the link in the description of today's video or go to surfshark.com/Hayden. Using code Hayden at checkout gets you 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. They also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it out completely risk-free. Again, huge thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring today's episode.
I'm $150K in debt and I still solo travel. I make that my priority. Hold on, it's not credit card debt, it is student debt. Make that very clear, because while I talk so much about seizing the moment, living in the moment, making sure to travel if you can, even when you're young and broke, I never want to condone deliberately going into thousands of dollars of debt just to travel and do it for the plot and live life, because that's really irresponsible and not at all conducive to a good life. This is about balance, but you can still travel if you are young and have no money. I started traveling when I was unemployed and had to start paying my loans like a month later. I live rent free to offset this, but that is my biggest bill. Pay other bills as well, but for fun things, other frivolous spending, I prioritize travel. I don't spend like any money when I'm at home. Basics, food, necessities, but I rarely shop. I rarely go out because I don't really have any friends in this area and I'm not home that often. It was literally just like my home base. I only travel based on where the cheap flight tickets are. I rarely have a set itinerary or a place I want to go. I just go where the deals take me. I've done work exchanges to stay there for free. I've traveled with my job so I can just still make money on the road. It's what I do now. I stay in dirt cheap hostels. I travel off season. I struggle meal through the days. It is possible, but it does take a little discipline, a little planning, and a little saving, especially up front, like when you're considering to start traveling and you don't have that much money. I know so many people and I've met so many people that have just like worked 3 jobs at home, done their bills, done everything like that, and put so much away in savings. I had enough to backpack for like 3 months. months. They do that, rinse and repeat, come back, do it all over again. And there are so many things that go into budget travel that I can't possibly fit into one video, but I talk about it all the time, so make sure to follow for more.
I just really question what job is going to allow you to come back to it after taking off 3 months for you to do it all over again in another year. That's why I'm a little stumped, because otherwise you'd just be like bartending or job hopping like that. And I don't think that's the most productive in terms of like career growth. But, you know, to each their own. Now, the problem with saving up a bunch of money and then spending it all while traveling is you're essentially still living paycheck to paycheck, which means if something happens, you're screwed and now in tremendous amounts of debt. Now, I really hope for her sake, her loans are, you know, federal loans at 2 or 3% over the course of 15, 30 years. And then it's somewhat reasonable to be doing this. But if they're private loans that are only for 8 or 10 years and they're at 13 or 9% interest rates, then this is absolutely insane.
I've always heard that if you see people traveling the world, like people that are running marathons in Japan and they're in their 20s, probably like you, then you shouldn't compare yourself to them because they're probably in credit card debt. And I always didn't really take that, I guess not serious, but then I realized a lot of my friends do.
Yep.
Like one of my friends the other day told me that she legit takes out like a Credify loan because you can get up to $20,000, I think. And she was like, yeah, you only live once. Might as well. I already have student debt. So she just takes those out and goes on trips and travels the world. I'm like, girl, you might be onto something.
No, you're not onto something. The only thing you're going to be onto is working at Walmart in your 70s because you blew all your money and now have a massive amount of debt that you have to pay off.
You're not going on vacation. You're in debt. You're broke. You're not going out to eat. You're in debt. You're broke. You work all the time. You're in debt. You're broke. There's a great place to go when you're broke, to work. People that do it with that intensity get out of debt in an average of about 18 to 24 months.
And I think that's like the craziest part that people don't realize. Like, I understand the cost of living is more expensive. I understand, you know, maybe saving up and being a homeowner might be a little further out than what it used to be. But for the average person, you can get out of debt pretty fast if you are tunnel vision focused and, like Dave Ramsey said, have gazelle intensity. It's really not that crazy difficult, but people have such an instant gratification mentality where they need everything right now, and they got this I deserve it complex where if they can do it, why can't I? That it's ruining all chances of ever having financial freedom. This woman here is the epitome of everything wrong with a lot of society today. It's been well over a decade since I've been on a vacation. Why? Because I pay my damn bills and save money. So glad I don't want a lifetime of debt like these entitled social media brain-warped people. It really is a shame that people don't realize how much harm, and financial destruction they're doing to their future self for just a little bit of fun. Now, one tip I found that actually works to get yourself out of debt faster is by subscribing to the channel and dropping a like on today's video. This lets me know that you guys like to see content like this and that I should keep making more content like this.
We travel a lot for a couple that's in $85,000 of student debt, and this is how we do it. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Grace, and every time I cut a watermelon, I talk about my finances while my husband and I are paying off $100,000 of student debt as fast as we can. And today we're talking
Did she just go from 85,000 to 100,000?
A lot for a couple that's in $85,000 of student debt, and this is how we do it. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Grace, and every time I cut a watermelon, I talk about my finances while my husband and I are paying off $100,000 of student debt as fast as we can. And today we're talking about traveling and going on vacation. So these are a few things we do to save money and be able to travel while still paying off a lot of debt. Number one, and this pertains to our past 2 trips, is we have friends who have basically a free place to stay, very low cost. We didn't pay very much for the place to stay, and that makes a huge difference. If you can go somewhere where you know someone who lives there and can stay with a friend, then you're also gonna save a ton of money. Finding free activities. If you can take advantage of free activities, then you're not spending money. Things like if you're going to the mountains, hiking, walking around town, exploring the area. Yep. There was a free gondola in Breckenridge. There was a hot tub at our hotel. We spent a lot of time there. There was a pool. When we were in Florida, we spent most of our time at the pool. Look into the area where you're going of free activities, walking tours, free museums. There are lots of free activities no matter where you go. Number 4 is that we use points for my husband.
So before we hear her out on how she managed to figure out and crack the multi-trillion-dollar credit card company points hack, she has a lot of good advice, and this is something that I would recommend people do. While you're in debt and paying it off, these are good tips and tricks you can do as fun hobbies and activities that don't cost you much money.
Flights and I fly standby. I know this is not relatable to many because not a lot of people have the option to be on their sister's benefits where they can fly standby for free, but using credit card points for flights usually saves us a lot of money. And lastly, if you can travel in the edge seasons, not necessarily the off season because then the area you're going might not be what you're hoping for, but the edge of the busy season definitely will help you save money on places to stay, flights, food sometimes, like activities, things like that. Just traveling when it's not peak season will make a big difference. Those are some of my travel hacks, but if you have some to share, leave them in the comments. Thanks for joining me on Watermelon Chats. I hope to see you again next week, but I am not so sure if we're going to make it again.
The only issue with the credit card points hacks and using points to go on travel is most people give themselves more credit than they deserve, and they think they're finding some loophole when in reality they're actually overspending for those points. Like, people might be more inclined to go out for dinner or DoorDash food because they get 4x points back than if they just cooked at home. I'm going to Greece in January and I couldn't be more excited, but here's the thing. I paid off all my debt, saved up an emergency fund first. This will be my first time out of the country, and I would never have even considered going if my finances weren't in good shape. Going on vacation when you're broke and in debt is just dumb. I agree.
Why do you have this $22,986 loan on a United Mileage Plus card?
Just spending. Vacations.
Because you're talking about going on this trip with friends. What does your life look like around vacations?
We've done some. In the past, we've tried to do them around my work travel. Like, I had to go to Amsterdam quite a bit for work.
Fully paid for?
By the company, my part was fully paid for. And then the kids and my husband would come over. They've been out there a couple of times. And we went to Paris as well. It was just like, for the first time in my life, I was making really good money. And I just had like no clue.
That's the thing, is you are making so much money. And we could turn this into an incredible nest egg that it would be allowing you for probably multiple decades to be able to travel almost as much as you want if we did this properly. But now your entire existence is paying off the past travel.
Yeah.
And the worst part is credit card debt is the easiest to get into and the hardest to get out of. And they know that. Charging 35% interest should be illegal.
Booking a vacation on Afterpay for a trip where you plan to use your credit card that has a $5,000 credit limit when you have $0 in your checking account and you come home to bills.
Dumb.
Is not the flex that you think it is. Even if you didn't think it was a flex, it's not the wise financial decision that you think it is. The 8% of people who lock in and actually pay off credit cards rack those same credit cards back up not even a year later after just having them paid off. It is one thing for us to truly be out here helping people who got into credit card debt and other payday loan, personal loan, and auto loan debt because they actually couldn't help it because they fell on hard times, and those hard times were the end all be all of their financial state moment. But to intentionally know exactly what you're doing because you have bad spending habits, you have to have the latest Jordans, and you have to buy that Fashion Nova car, and you have to buy that Shein car, and you have to have your nails and hair done, and you have to have the out of country trips, and you have to have the cruises here, and you just always have to have. If you're barely affording the rent, then I can guarantee you can't afford those quote unquote cheaper mortgages plus the additional fees that come with even buying a home in the first place. If you are at least 23 years and older and you have even a lick of debt that you owe to someone or something, you need to be binge watching Caleb Hammer's show called Financial Audit. You need to look at a bunch of videos of Dave Ramsey. You need to make sure that the things that you are feeding yourself every single day
100%.
involve getting out of debt, better finances, budgeting, how to handle cash, how to manage your finances, you need to be binging on those types of things.
I do have a little sympathy because we have made it so easy to go into debt and to take out loans, and we've made it so normalized in our society that it's very easy to fall into it. But the whole entitlement complex and needing it now is a cancer to your financial education and your financial freedom.
$93,000 in debt, and I'm going on 2 vacations this year. Sue me. Boiled Chicken Nugget says this is insane debt and you just don't get it. Actually, I do get it. Because I tried the Dave Ramsey method. It did not work for me. It was too restrictive and I didn't pay off any debt. What did work for me though was this time last year, I decided to do it my own way and I paid off over $30,000 in debt. I cash flowed an entire trip within that year to Seattle for $1,083 total. I am a budget traveler. This is a hill that I will die on. If you can cash flow trips, activities, why not do it? You only get to be around your kids when they're young once. And my daughter is 18. We are changing seasons of life. And so we are going on a road trip to Arches, Canyonlands, Capitol Reef, Zion, and Vegas. And then we're going to go on another trip to the Northwest and do all of the national parks.
I feel like she's doing this more for her than her kids because, like I said with the other person, I almost will guarantee that your kids would much rather have a childhood where their parents aren't fighting over bills and whether they can afford things.
We love the Northwest. We used to live there. We want to go back. But this is a hill that I will die on. You already got yourself into debt. Yes. And you suffer the consequences of that every day. Paying interest, feeling shame, feeling guilt. So why not enjoy your life too? As long as you're still getting out of debt, you're just delaying it. That's all. I'm never going to change my opinion on this.
It's just straight up delusion and making your life difficult. I mean, recklessness is what got you into debt in the first place. So we're just continuing the bad behavior. Someone said, we've been doing Dave Ramsey's program for 5 years, paid off $190,000 in debt, still have about $50K to go. We cash flowed vacations every year. We're happy where we are and wouldn't change it. We have $132K in debt, still going on our yearly 2-week family vacations. My kids are only young once. I will make memories with them while we can. But the craziest part is you don't need to go on vacations, like I keep saying, to make memories with your kids. There's many free things you can do or cheaper things you can do to give your kids memories. I highly doubt they are going to be upset missing out on going to Disney World at 2, 3, 4 years old. They'd much rather have their parents out of debt, or they'll appreciate that in the future. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today's episode. Let me know your thoughts on whether or not it's okay to travel or go on vacations while you're broke or in debt. I'm curious to hear what you think about this. As always, if you haven't already, definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe. And if you haven't seen my previous video on Disney debt insanity, definitely make sure to check it out right after this. Peace.